Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Go.
Yes, welcome. We're so happy you're here with us today.
I'm Roy.
And I'm Lily. It's great to be back.
Today, we have a really useful topic, I think.
Ooh, definitely. We're talking about common mistakes English learners often make.
That's right. And it's not just about the mistakes themselves,
No, more importantly, we'll talk about how to fix them.
because making mistakes is completely normal. You know,
Absolutely. It's a natural part of the learning journey for everyone.
so don't worry if you make them.
Exactly. Let's get started and help you improve.
Okay, so the first common mistake, being afraid to make mistakes.
Oh, that's a big one, isn't it? Feeling shy or nervous.
Yeah, people worry so much about saying something perfectly.
And then they often just stay quiet, which isn't helpful.
Right, because to learn to speak, you actually need to speak.
So true. So, what's a good way to deal with this fear, Roy?
Well, try to change how you think about mistakes.
To try to change how you think about mistakes?
Instead of seeing them as bad, think of them as chances to learn.
That's a really positive way to look at it. Like each error is a lesson.
Precisely. Your goal isn't to be perfect from day one.
It's more about communication, right? Just trying to share your ideas.
Exactly. And it might help to remember that even native speakers make mistakes.
Oh, all the time. We trip over our words too.
So, one practical tip is to find a safe place to practice your English.
Like with a friend who is also learning.
Yeah, or a patient teacher or language exchange partner.
Even just talking to yourself can help build confidence, you know?
It really can. No pressure there at all.
There's a saying, practice makes perfect.
It's a good one, but I also like practice makes progress.
Ooh, practice makes progress. That's lovely. Small steps forward.
Exactly. Focus on improving, not on being flawless.
That makes a lot of sense. Great advice for the first point.
Okay, let's move on to the next common mistake.
What is it, Roy?
Focusing too much on grammar rules, especially at the very beginning.
Ah, yes. Some learners try to know every single rule before they even say a sentence.
And that can make speaking feel really hard and slow,
Like you're constantly checking a mental list of rules.
right? It can stop you from speaking naturally.
Are you saying grammar isn't important?
Not at all. Grammar is important, of course.
But maybe not the only thing to focus on at first?
Exactly. It's about balance. Communication first, then refine the grammar.
I see. So it's okay if your sentences aren't grammatically perfect when you're starting,
Absolutely. It's more important to get your message across.
and then you can improve your grammar over time.
Yes. Think about how children learn their first language.
They speak first and then they learn grammar in school much later.
Precisely. They learn by listening and copying and trying to communicate.
So the tip here is don't let grammar rules scare you from speaking.
Yes, try to learn grammar in context through stories or conversations,
Not just by memorizing rules from a book,
right? You can focus on one or two grammar points at a time.
and practice them in your speaking. That sounds more manageable.
It is, little by little, you know?
Every little helps, as they say. That's another good phrase.
It is, so less stress about perfect grammar, more focus on using the language.
Good advice. What's next on our list of mistakes?
This one is closely related, not practicing speaking enough.
Ah, the quiet learner. They might read a lot or do grammar exercises.
But they don't actually speak English very often.
And speaking is a skill, right? Like playing a sport or an instrument.
Exactly. You can't learn to swim just by reading a book about swimming.
You have to get in the water. So you have to actually use your voice.
That's the key. Your mouth and brain need the practice.
So, what are some easy ways to practice speaking more?
Well, we mentioned talking to yourself earlier. That's a start.
Yes, you can describe your day or what you're doing.
You can also record yourself speaking on your phone.
Oh, that's a brave step, but probably very useful to hear yourself.
It can be a little strange at first, but it helps you notice areas to improve.
And finding a language partner is great for this too,
Definitely. Someone you can chat with regularly.
even if it's just for 15 minutes a day.
Consistent practice is more important than long, infrequent sessions.
That's true. Little and often works well for language learning.
Try to use English in your daily life. if possible.
Like ordering coffee in English if you can.
Yes, or asking for directions, or even just thinking in English.
The more you use it, the more comfortable you'll become.
Precisely. Don't wait until you feel ready because that day might not come.
You just have to start. Good point. Roll.
So speak, 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 even if it's not perfect.
I agree. It's so important. Okay, what's mistake number 4?
Thinking in your native language and translating everything word for word.
Oh, I understand this one. It's very natural to do that at the beginning.
It is, but it can cause some problems.
Why is that? What kind of problems?
Well, sentence structure is often different in English compared to other languages.
True. So if you translate directly, the sentence might sound strange or be incorrect in English
Exactly, and it also slows you down a lot when you're trying to speak.
because you're doing 2 jobs, thinking in your language, then translating.
Right. It makes conversation difficult.
So, what's the solution? How can learners start thinking more in English?
It takes time and practice. But one way is to learn words and phrases in context.
Not just as single words with a translation.
Yes. Try to associate English words directly with the idea or object, not with the word in your language.
Like when you see a tree, you think tree, not your native word for it first.
Exactly. And when you learn new vocabulary, try to learn simple definitions in English.
Or look at pictures that show the meaning.
That's a great idea. Using an English dictionary for learners can also help.
So you're always staying within the English language as much as possible.
Yes. Another tip is to start with simple sentences that you can build directly in English.
Things like, I like coffee, or today is sunny.
Precisely. And gradually, as you get more comfortable, you can build more complex sentences in English.
It sounds like a process of training your brain differently.
It is, and consuming a lot of English helps, like listening to podcasts like this one.
Or watching TV shows or movies in English.
Yes, the more you expose yourself to natural English, the more you'll start to think in it.
That makes sense. So try to immerse yourself. Okay, next mistake.
Number 5 is ignoring pronunciation or not focusing enough on it.
Ooh, pronunciation. That can be a tricky one for many learners,
It can, and sometimes learners focus only on grammar and vocabulary.
and they forget that how you say the words is also very important for communication.
Exactly. Good pronunciation helps people understand you more easily.
Mhm. And it can make you feel more confident when you speak too.
Definitely. So, what can learners do to improve their pronunciation?
Well, one thing is to listen carefully to native speakers.
Yes. Listen to how they make different sounds and the rhythm and intonation of their sentences.
Intonation? What's that exactly?
It's like the music of the language. The way your voice goes up and down when you speak.
Oh, I see. That can change the meaning sometimes, can it?
It can. So, listening and trying to copy what you hear is really helpful.
There are lots of resources online too, like videos showing how to make English sounds.
Yes, for sounds that are not in your native language. Those can be particularly hard.
Practice those specific sounds slowly and carefully.
And recording yourself, like we said before, is great for pronunciation practice too.
You can compare your pronunciation to a native speaker's.
Don't be afraid to ask a teacher or a native speaking friend for feedback on your pronunciation.
Good idea. Honest feedback can really help.
And focus on clear pronunciation rather than trying to sound exactly like a native speaker from a specific country.
Right. Understandable English is the goal.
Exactly. Small improvements over time can make a big difference.
So listen, copy, and practice. Got it. What's our next mistake?
This one is about listening, actually. Not listening enough or not listening actively.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not just about speaking.
No, listening is half of the conversation, isn't it?
That's very true. And it's a skill you need to develop
Some learners focus so much on what they want to say next.
that they don't really hear what the other person is saying.
Exactly. Or they might hear the sounds but not fully understand the message.
So, what does active listening mean in this context?
It means really focusing on the speaker, trying to understand their main points and their feelings.
Not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Right. And it involves things like nodding or saying mimha or I see to show you're engaged.
That also helps the speaker feel more comfortable.
It does. To improve listening skills, expose yourself to as much spoken English as possible.
Like music, podcasts, TV shows, movies. We've mentioned these before.
Yes, and try to listen to different accents too, if you can.
That's a good challenge. English is spoken in so many ways around the world.
When you're listening, try not to translate every word in your head.
That connects back to our earlier point about thinking in English.
Yes. Try to get the general meaning first.
And don't worry if you don't understand every single word.
Exactly. You can often understand the main idea from the context.
What if you really don't understand something in a conversation?
It's okay to ask for clarification. You can say, "Could you please say that again?" Or, "What does that mean?"
That's much better than just pretending to understand.
Definitely. Active listening is a skill that will greatly improve your communication.
Good advice. So, more focused listening. What's mistake number 7?
Giving up too soon or not being patient with the learning process.
Ooh, that's a sad one. When learners feel discouraged and stop trying.
It happens. Learning a language takes time and effort.
It's not something you can do in a few weeks or months, usually.
Exactly. It's a marathon, not a sprint. That's a useful idiom.
A marathon, not a sprint. I like that. It means it's a long, steady effort.
Yes, and sometimes learners expect to see results very quickly,
And when they don't, they might think they are not good at learning languages.
which is usually not true. Everyone learns at a different speed.
So, the main advice here is to be patient with yourself,
Yes, absolutely. And celebrate small victories along the way.
like understanding a song lyric for the first time or having a short, successful conversation.
Those small wins can really keep you motivated.
And remember why you started learning English in the first place.
That's a great point. Having a clear reason can help you keep going when things feel hard.
What if you feel stuck, like you're not making any progress?
Try to change your routine a bit. Maybe try a new learning method.
Or find a new study partner or a different kind of material to learn from.
Yes, and don't be afraid to take a short break if you need to, but then come back to it.
Consistency is key, even if it's just a little bit each day.
Rome wasn't built in a day, another good saying.
True, it takes time to build something great, like your English skills.
So keep going, be patient, and don't give up.
Excellent encouragement. What's the next mistake we should discuss?
This is about learning materials, only using textbooks and not using real world English.
So relying too much on classroom English, perhaps?
Yes, textbooks are useful, especially for grammar and structured learning.
But the English in textbooks can sometimes be a bit different from how people really speak.
Exactly. Real English is often faster, uses more idioms, slang, and has interruptions.
So learners might understand their textbook perfectly, but then struggle with a real conversation or a movie.
That's a common experience. So it's important to use authentic materials too,
What do you mean by authentic materials?
things that are made for native English speakers, not just for learners.
Like the podcasts, music, TV shows, and movies we keep mentioning.
Yes, and also news articles, blogs, YouTube videos, books written for native speakers.
It might seem difficult at first, though, if the level is too high.
It can be. So you can start with materials that are a bit easier or made for an international audience.
Like news for learners or graded readers, which are books specially written with simpler language.
Exactly. And then gradually move to more complex, authentic materials.
The idea is to get used to how English is used in real life.
Yes, it helps you understand different accents, speaking styles, and current topics.
And it makes learning more fun and interesting too, I think.
Definitely. You can choose topics you're interested in, like hobbies or sports.
So it doesn't feel so much like studying.
Right, so mix your textbook learning with plenty of real world English.
That sounds like a good balance. What's our final mistake for today, Royd?
The last one is about goals, having unrealistic goals or sometimes no clear goals at all.
Goals are important for direction, aren't they?
They are. If your goal is to be fluent in English in 3 months, that might be unrealistic for most beginners.
And then you feel disappointed when you don't reach it.
Exactly. It can be very demotivating.
So it's better to set smaller, achievable goals.
Yes. Think about what you want to be able to do with English.
Like, I want to be able to introduce myself and talk about my hobbies.
That's a great short term goal. Or, I want to understand 50% of this podcast episode next month.
Those sound much more manageable. You can say take it step by step,
Precisely. And when you achieve these smaller goals, you feel a sense of accomplishment.
which motivates you to keep learning. What about having no goals?
That can also be a problem. If you don't know why you're learning or what you're aiming for,
It's easy to lose focus and stop making an effort.
right, your learning might not have much direction.
So, taking some time to think about your personal reasons for learning English is a good idea.
Definitely write down your goals, both short term and long term.
And maybe review them sometimes to see how you're doing.
Yes, and it's okay to adjust your goals as you go along. Things change.
So be smart with your goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound.
That's a fantastic way to put it, Lily. Smart goals.
It really helps to make them clear and actionable.
It does. So set realistic goals, break them down, and track your progress.
Great advice to finish our main discussion. That was a lot of useful information.
I hope it helps our listeners.
Me too. We covered quite a few common mistakes,
We did. From fear of speaking to setting the right goals,
and the key message is that these are all fixable.
absolutely. Every learner goes through some of these challenges.
So if you recognize yourself in any of these points, you're not alone.
And now you have some ideas on how to work on them.
Remember to be kind to yourself during the learning process.
Yes, that's so important. Enjoy the journey of learning English.
Can open up so many new opportunities and experiences.
Definitely. Well, that's about all the time we have for today.
Thank you all so much for listening to English Go.
We hope you found it helpful and feel motivated.
Keep practicing, keep learning, and don't be afraid to make those mistakes.
They're just stepping stones to success. Until next time.
Bye for now, and happy learning.